Hey everyone, it's Charlie Morgan here and welcome back to another video for the YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the number one skill you need to acquire to actually get good at appointment booking. And it's a pretty cool one. Now, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name's Charlie. I built and scaled an agency to 7 figures and another coaching business to multi-7 figures. And today's video is going to help you do similar things. It's pretty cool. Now, appointment booking doesn't really exist as a skill. Right, it's actually like when you actually try to observe appointment booking, it's not tangible. You can't really define exactly what it is. It's not like copywriting or sales where it's a clear defined action. Appointment booking it's a chain of skills. It's an amalgamation. It's a collection of different things that you have to know how to do and be good at to actually accomplish the result. So when someone's like, I'm an appointment setter, it's like, it's not like saying I'm a dentist, because dentistry is actually like a practical skill, right? But whereas appointment booking is like, it's not tangible. And this is where people start going wrong, is because they think they need to get good at appointment booking. But the problem is they need to get good at other things, right? So one of those things, for example, could be copywriting. Another thing could be like persistence and follow up. Another thing could be like knowing how to actually qualify people. These are all individual skills that, like, when put together, create this intangible idea or abstract called appointment booking. But today I want to walk you through the most important skill, like by an absolute fucking long shot. If you get this thing right, everything else becomes extremely easy. And ironically, it's the thing that most people get wrong. And so today I'm going to bring your attention to this skill, and hopefully I'm hoping that by bringing your attention to it, you'll be able to leverage it and get much better results. So I'm actually going to hop into Miro and walk you through what this is. In case you're wondering, by the way, why it looks like I'm drinking urine, I promise this is not urine. This is actually orange squash protein powder. And any of you people who go to the gym that drink like normal whey protein and have that horrible like milkshake stuff, look up Clear Whey Isolate. It's a game changer. Now let's talk about how to get more appointments. Okay, so the skill in question is emotional management. It's being able to control your emotions and your impulses to prevent you from making stupid mistakes that actually take you further away from the goal you're trying to accomplish. What I observe is that when it comes to building, let's just call them appointment booking systems. When it comes to building appointment booking systems, you have to make decisions, right? It's pretty obvious. You have to make decisions as to what's right and what's wrong and what's working and what's not. The problem is that most people don't know how to even make decisions. Most people don't actually consciously process and critically think about their actions. They just feel something and then they go with the feeling, right? Most people don't make decisions. They give assent to emotions that shouldn't even be there in the first place. And the reason people have such scattered brains and such why it feels like outreach is such an impossible task is because they approach appointment booking from an emotional perspective. If you remove the emotion from appointment booking, it becomes incredibly easy. Now, it doesn't get easier from the perspective of like the actual skills required other than emotional management, but it becomes easier in the respect that you can see things clear and you can start to make accurate decisions based on data. And so really like the thing that fucks everyone in appointment booking is the emotion. And I've realized now why appointment booking is actually the hardest thing to get right in an agency. It's because it is appointment booking and generating appointments and sales, these two things, they are tied so closely to the goal that you so desire. They are synonymous with the outcome that you want and the pain you want to be alleviated from. And so anything that threatens you trying to accomplish the goal is immediately going to conjure up emotions because, well, you're in a situation that you don't like. You've manifested a transcendental goal that takes you to a point at which you're out of that pain. And now there's something in the middle. There's an obstacle that's stopping you getting what you want and stopping you from making that transcendental jump. And you're hating it and it creates all this emotion. And so you try to attack this object with hate and anger and emotion. And that is not the way to do it, right? If you try to approach appointment booking from an emotional lens, you will not get any appointments at all. Now, what we want to do here is bear in mind our best friend, regression to the mean. Okay, regression to the mean is by far the most important thing to understand when it comes to appointment booking in terms of building an emotional management skill set, right? In terms of managing your emotions. So most people, they start sending emails, and then the day after they start sending emails, they don't get any responses, and then they freak out and start making all these chaotic changes to their process. You have to understand, if you want to get good at appointment booking, just study the scientific process. Study how scientists conduct experiments and then apply that same method and principle to your appointment booking process, and you will accomplish appointments and you will get results. It just takes time, right? So what most people do is they hop in to Gmail or LinkedIn and they start sending messages, and then nobody responds to them, and then they think, oh, that didn't work, so I'm going to try something else, and then that didn't work, so I'll try something else. And what they do is they try so many different things, but they don't really try anything, because to try or to test is a more accurate word here. They don't test things, they try things. A test is when you run like a large enough data set to actually understand with empiricism if the result you've accomplished is predictable at scale. Whereas when you're trying something, it's a flash in the pan, like I'm going to give it a go, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And like you're so impulsive that you jump from try to try to try without actually running any proper tests. And so if you want to test something, you have to understand what is meant by ceteris paribus, which is Latin for one variable changed at a time. So when you're doing outreach, you've obviously got your subject line, you've got your email copy, you've got your leads, like the source of the leads, you've got if you're using Loom, you've got your Loom, then you've got not only what you say in the Loom, but your tone in the Loom, then you've got what like order the email copies in, and then you've got your signature. So like what happens is people start like doing outreach, and then like a minute later, like the day after or 2 days after, they change the entire process and they mix all these variables around and shuffle them around. And when you shuffle more than one variable and try something new, you lose the advantage of ceteris paribus. And the reason ceteris paribus is so strong and so powerful is because it allows you to define cause and effect, and it allows you to actually figure out what creates the result you're trying to accomplish. So what you want to do is you want to look at your outreach. I will literally map out exactly how to do this right now. Right. So what you want to do is pick a platform and pick a method. It could be email, it could be LinkedIn, it could be Instagram, it could be Facebook, it could be phone calling. You want to make sure that you pick the platform that is most conducive to good results in your niche. So, for example, if you're with lawyers, Instagram probably isn't the way to go, but you should understand your niche well enough to understand where they hang out and where they're most receptive to being pitched. Once you've done that, define how many variables you have in your outreach and exactly what those variables are. So let me give you an example here. Let's say it's LinkedIn, right? I'm doing LinkedIn messaging, right? And so what I'm going to do here is there's going to be a few variables. So let's just say we've got variable number 1 is going to be my profile, right? Because if you're doing outreach and then suddenly you change your profile and the whole profile around, then you've got to start getting more responses. Like let's say you do outreach on LinkedIn for a few weeks and you've got the same profile and the same message for a few weeks, and then it doesn't work. So then you change your profile and then you also change the message a bit. And then you start doing outreach and it starts working, but you don't know if it's the new profile that created the change or if it's the new message that created the change. And then we tie what we call Gordian's knot, where now you can't distinguish cause from effect, which basically creates chaos, which means you don't actually know what to do, which brings even more emotion into the game, which brings more changes, and this thing just spirals and spirals and spirals. And so you list out the variables. So we've got the profile, then we would actually have the connection message, right? You have to think of everything here. Right, then we have the connection message, and then we have the initial message, for example, right? And then maybe we've got the follow-up sequence, right? And then maybe we've also got the lead list, or where we're actually sourcing the leads, like who we're reaching out to, for example. So what we can see is we can boil down your outreach to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different variables. And all of these variables, when aligned in the proper way that's conducive to the result, will accomplish results. But what I see happening is people changing their profile one day, and then the next day they think, I'll change this initial message because I saw that on Twitter. There's no joke, people see a tweet and then they change their entire business based on a tweet. It's ridiculous. But it's I'll change my profile, and then I think this initial message might be better, and how about I'm just going to try these different lead things, and then I'll just rechange my profile and try this again, and the connection message is not working, so I'm just going to do this and replace this one. And then you just get this chaos. And when you observe how scientists conduct experiments, they hold all variables the same except from one, because we can only test one thing at a time. And if you try to run, and first of all, if you try anything, it doesn't work. You have to test things. So the rule of thumb is you have to get a very large data set. And by very large, if it's cold emails, it might be 300, 400. If it's messages, it might be 200. You have to get a large data set and then log your metrics every single day. So go and make a spreadsheet, right? Like this. This is the most budget spreadsheet. It looks more like I'm not going to say what I was about to say because that would be very offensive, but it looks like someone with a problem drawing a noughts and crosses table, let's just call it that. But you create your spreadsheet of how many connections you've sent, how many messages you've sent, how many replies you've got, how many appointments you've booked. And every day you log how many of these things you've done. And then after a certain period of time where you've done enough, you can look at the data and think, what's my connection to message rate, what's my message to reply rate, what's my reply to booking rate, and then you get all those percentages and you tally them up and it gives you your overall appointment booking rate. When you've got the data, you can then basically like look at the system, and it allows you to observe the appointment booking facade into all of these subsystems that you can then start making little changes, right? You can start changing one variable at a time. So maybe you're like, oh, I've got a good reply rate, but I'm just not getting enough connections to messages, which means I need to optimize my profile. So we change the profile, that's part of the system, ceteris paribus, all other things, everything else changes the same. It might go better, it might go worse, you keep editing. The key to understanding this is to know that building appointment booking systems takes time, and the reason it takes time is because we have to run experiments, and experiments cannot be done quickly. If you try and rush an experiment, you're going to fuck things up. So I just wanted to record this video because the emotional side of things is really probably screwing you around. Like, if you think about appointment booking and the first thing that comes to your gut and your stomach is anger or fear or anxiety, then you know you're sort of in for this and you're probably making mistakes. And until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. And emotions by their nature literally have the word motion, which means action in Latin. So when you have an emotion, most people just jump straight into the action. But the better thing to do is to start meditating, become way more aware of why you're experiencing the emotions around outreach. And it's because outreach is the key to getting clients, which is the key to you escaping the pain. So anything that threatens that is obviously going to create this unconscious discomfort, which will manifest into anxiety or worry, which will manifest into action to get away from it, but it doesn't work. So you have to become aware of the emotions. Then you have to recognize, like, okay, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling worried, it's been 2 days, I've got no responses, but I trust what scientists have been doing for hundreds of years, and I trust the scientific process because it put a fucking man on the moon. And if we can put a man on the moon with a scientific process, I think I can probably book an appointment in a day. That's emotional management, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it. And it's really important. It's the most important skill. It surpasses copywriting. It surpasses like lead list building, it surpasses everything, because you can have every other skill with appointment booking. You can be a great salesperson, you can be a great copywriter, you can know it all, but if you can't manage your emotions and you're making decisions out of like data, emotion instead of data, then you will always be fucked. Okay, everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Do not forget to subscribe, like and comment. Please do not turn the notification bell on, because if you do that, you'll get distracted by notifications that you don't need. Just check back on my channel. I upload 3 times a week. And the videos are pretty cool, I think, anyway, otherwise I wouldn't make them. Nearly 1,000 subscribers. I don't really care about that too much, but I just care about making good videos. So I hope you enjoy this. In the first link of the description will be a course link, right? Don't worry, it's not a 997 course with bullshit. It's basically a link to a discovery call and a video where it explains what we do and how it works. You can check it out if you want to. You can book a call with us. If you've been watching my videos for some time and you've been thinking about booking a call but you haven't, I would honestly do it, because why haven't you done it yet? You're probably afraid of something, and if you want to run your business out of fear, be my guest. But if not, crack on and book the fucking call, right? The worst case scenario is you don't buy it, and that's fine. Best case scenario is you do, it changes your life, and we're all happier. But that's everything for me. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I know I've really spoken quickly here, and it's like watching a video in 2 times speed, but I just wanted to get this one done because it came to mind. And I got this idea from a client of mine called Nabil. So Nabil, if you're watching this, hearts and kisses, mate. Talk soon. Peace out, guys.